In a vast, desolate plain beneath a dull and lifeless sky, a man named Job sat in the ashes. The dry wind kicked up small spirals of dust around him, but his gaze remained fixed on nothing, lost in an abyss of pain. He had been known throughout the region as a righteous man, a God-fearing man, rich in both blessings and wealth. His home had once been filled with laughter, the bleating of sheep, and the constant hammering of servants working in his prosperous fields. But now, all of that was a distant memory. In a matter of days, his perfect world had collapsed. A series of calamities struck him like unrelenting waves. His herds were stolen or destroyed, his servants killed, and, most tragically, all his sons and daughters perished when a furious wind tore down their house. As if that weren't enough, his body was covered in painful boils from head to toe. Alone, humiliated, and broken, Job scratched at his sores with a piece of broken pottery, seeking relief that never came. His friends arrived, but they brought no comfort. At first, they sat in silence, unable to find words for his suffering. But soon, they began speaking, suggesting that Job must have sinned terribly to deserve such affliction. Their words were like knives that pierced an already wounded soul. "I am innocent," Job cried out, lifting his face to the sky. "I have walked in God's ways. I have been just. Why then has this happened to me?" The air thickened with the weight of his questions. Day after day, his friends argued with him, insisting that he repent, but Job would not yield. In his anguish, he wished he could face God himself, to seek answers directly from the Creator. One day, as the afternoon darkened and winds began to blow fiercely, something unusual began to happen. The clouds on the horizon swirled, and a whirlwind formed with an increasing roar. The ground trembled slightly beneath Job's feet, and the friends around him recoiled in fear. From the heart of the whirlwind, a voice emerged, deep, majestic, full of power. "Who is this that darkens my counsel with words without knowledge?" Job fell to his knees, covering his face with his hands. He had never heard a voice like that before. It was like thunder echoing in his soul, imposing yet not destructive, a voice speaking with authority over all that existed. "Prepare yourself like a man," the voice continued. "I will question you, and you will answer me." The whirlwind spun in a hypnotic dance, as if the very words were shaping the wind and the sky. "Where were you when I laid the earth's foundations? Tell me, if you understand. Who set its measurements? Surely you know. Who stretched a measuring line across it? On what were its footings set, or who laid its cornerstone, while the morning stars sang together and all the angels shouted for joy?" Job's mind filled with images, the dawn over a newly formed earth, the stars dancing in a primordial sky, the foundations of the world placed with divine precision. It was as if he could see the act of creation itself, vast and glorious, far beyond his understanding. "Who shut up the sea behind doors when it burst forth from the womb, when I made the clouds its garment and wrapped it in thick darkness? When I fixed limits for it and set its doors and bars in place, saying, 'This far you may come and no farther. Here is where your proud waves halt?'" The roar of the waves echoed in his mind as the voice continued, leading Job to contemplate the depths of the oceans and the order that contained them. "Have you ever given orders to the morning or shown the dawn its place, that it might take the earth by the edges and shake the wicked out of it? Have you entered the storehouses of the snow or seen the storehouses of the hail?" Job trembled, unable to respond. Each question felt like a flash of lightning that illuminated the vastness of the universe, reminding him how small he was in comparison to the infinite Creator. "Can you bind the chains of the Pleiades or loosen the cords of Orion? Can you bring forth the constellations in their seasons or lead out the bear with its cubs? Do you know the laws of the heavens? Can you set up God's dominion over the earth?" The sky seemed to open as the voice spoke, as if the entire cosmos was being called to testify of its Creator's greatness. Then God began to describe the living creatures, the lions roaring for food, the ravens calling for sustenance, the deer giving birth in the mountains, and the ostrich, clumsy yet swift, with purpose in its design. Do you give the horse its strength or clothe its neck with a flowing mane? Does the eagle soar at your command and build its nest on high? Each word revealed meticulous care and purpose behind all of creation. Job, still prostrate, finally found his voice, though it barely came out as a whisper. I am unworthy. How can I answer you? I put my hand over my mouth. I have spoken once, but I have no answer. Twice, but I will say no more. The whirlwind dissipated, and silence returned to the desert. But it was not the same oppressive silence from before. Now it was filled with reverence. Job had not received the answers he had longed for, but something deeper had shifted within him. He had seen God. With a trembling voice, but filled with humility, Job murmured, I had heard of you by the hearing of the ear, but now my eyes see you. In that moment, Job understood that he did not need to understand everything because the God who had created the heavens and the earth was worthy of trust.